What's good, everybody? Jordan Poole back in the Bay Area, but the Washington Wizards fall to the Golden State Warriors 129 to 118. So we're going to do a recap tonight. Then we're going to look at, can the Wizards get a first-round pick for Kyle Kuzma, and what are the best fits for him at the trade deadline? And then at the end, we're going to chop it up like we always do. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Brandon Scott again, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight we're going to cover the recap for the loss in Golden State. But this was a reunion for Jordan Poole back in the Bay Area, and he got a lot more cheers and boos, let me tell you, and a tribute video. So we're definitely going to recap the game and look at the particulars, how we lost and how the young guys did. And then we're going to look at, can the Wizards get a first-round pick for Kyle Kuzma? He's got a lot of suitors out there, so we're going to talk about that. And then at the end, we're going to chop it up like we always do. So the Washington Wizards dropped Friday night to the Golden State Warriors 129 to 118. And like we always say, different game, same script. First half was very, very close. The Wizards actually, kept it very close in the first half. And then the second half, third quarter, they outscored us 38 to 22. And we tried to bring it back in the fourth quarter, but the damage was done. Looking at some particulars I looked at, again, different game, same script. Rebounding was an issue for the Wizards again. We got out-rebounded 64 to 47, including offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded us 14 to 9. So rebounding, again, was a issue. Now, looking at the stats for our starting five, wait on it to pop up. There we go. Let's get into it. Tyus Jones, 14 points, 6 from 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. So Tyus Jones has been playing really well lately. He's been playing really good basketball. And obviously, if you're looking at it from a trade standpoint, yeah, he's getting his value up. But as far as his fit as starting point guard, he is starting to assimilate into the starting point guard position, man. He is definitely doing his thing. He did well. Now, obviously, look, Stephen Curry is a tough cover from most people in the league. He is, probably, in my opinion, one of the best shooters all time. But, he definitely knows how to play some ball, man. And, he was a man on the mission tonight. But I like what I saw overall from Tyus Jones. But let's get into Jordan Poole. Obviously, this is his reunion going back to Golden State. It was a pity that Draymond Green was suspended. That really would have been a heck of a game to watch. But looking at Jordan Poole, he had his good moments, he had his bad moments. But let's dig into it. 25 points overall, but efficiency was bad. 7 for 21 from the field, shooting 3 for 12 from 3-point range. He did shoot 8 for 9 from free throws at the charity strike, and only one turnover, but efficiency again was bad, man. There's a lot of ill-advised shots, and I'll say this, man. I feel like I've said this many times, but Jordan Poole, I like him as a young player, man, but he's got some learning to do as far as what really bothers me about him and Kyle Kuzma to a certain degree is that they don't utilize the shot clock. There's as many examples last night, but bring the ball up and then transition shooting a three. It's just it should happen, man. He has to do better with utilizing the shot clock. Him and Kyle Kuzma tend to be bad for this, man. They're bad with, shooting the ball early in the shot clock and, they're ill-advised shots. So not only are you not utilizing the shot clock, you're shooting ill-advised shots to where the likelihood of you making it is pretty much at nil, and you're pretty much giving the ball back to the other team. So they have to get better with moving the ball around, not shooting the ball off transition every single time, because he did it a few times, man. And I know the one time he did it Friday night, man. It was an air ball, or I believe it hit the backboard. But he's got to get better with that, man. He's got to get better with shooting ill-advised shots. I know that, last night, obviously his first game back being in Golden State, was trying to make a statement. I don't think it's a statement he really wanted to make, man, because efficiency was terrible. Denny, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Very underwhelming. Now, the last game, he got a double-double. I feel like he really turned the corner as far as, he's kind of in a rut. He's kind of struggling. And, he struggled again. 2 for 5, only 5 attempts. So you can't say too much. The shot attempts, you only got 5. And he found other ways to contribute. You say that the same thing about him and Bilal. They're very similar as far as, the points are sporadic, right? But they contribute in other ways. We're going to talk about Bilal in a little bit. But, Denny contributed in other ways, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. But, not a lot of shot attempts. And, if you look at 21 shot attempts from Jordan Poole and 11 from Kyle Kuzma, you kind of see why. But so Denny, underwhelming, yes. But look, we know the MO with the starting 5. And Kyle Kuzma, 7 points, 9 rebounds. Now, he did grab 9 boards. He was very active on the boards, man. But shot, again, just like Jordan Poole, shot was not dropping. 3-11 from the field, 1 for 5 overall. Had a injury scare, so we're going to definitely let you guys know what his status is going forward, but very underwhelming, in 24 minutes played. And Daniel Gafford, 15 points, 4 rebounds, got a steal. Little bit underwhelming compared to the game he had in Portland, but, and definitely considering the fact that, if you look at who they had at center, across from him, Kevon Looney only played 11 minutes, 5 points, 5 rebounds. So I feel like he could have did more, but I like the performance from Daniel Gafford because I don't know if you guys have seen Daniel Gafford, man, but my wife kind of made the comment that you look like you got a little weight on him. Maybe he's really trying to secure that starting center position, and he has things he needs to change. But bulking up is definitely a step in the right direction. If he really wants to bang in there with a lot of these bigger and more athletic bigs, I definitely recommend him getting into the weight room, getting bigger. Definitely add some muscle, and I think that's a definitely good decision on his part. But the starting 5, very underwhelming. I mean, the shot attempts. My biggest issue is this, y'all, is that if you're looking at Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, I like both of their games, man. But we know what the MO is: high usage, a lot of shot attempts, and I think this really, really, really damaged the Wizards tonight, man. Because if you look at the shot attempts, for Jordan Poole, 7 for 21, 3 for 12 from 3. And then you look at Kuzma, 3 for 11. So the efficiency really, really hurt the starting 5. So looking at the bench real quick, Bilal Coulibaly, 32 minutes. Now, 32 minutes, he actually led the team in minutes played. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 for 8 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3. You don't see the hesitancy. I get it. You look at the stat line, you're like, man, it was a very underwhelming night. But, him and Denny, the shot is, they're not hesitant. You definitely want to see them be more aggressive, but they're not hesitant to take that shot. And that's what you want to see for both of them, that, the offensive side for both Bilal and Denny are getting there. They're getting there. And it's going to take a lot of playing time. It's going to take experience. Now, I get it. This is not Denny's first year. This is actually his 4th year. But offensively, you do see a different player. Consistency is the biggest issue. Him consistently being a threat offensively as opposed to defensively. And the same thing with Bilal. Both of their offensive games will come. It's going to take playing time, and definitely after the deadline, you're going to see a lot more playing time for both of those gentlemen. Corey Kispert had a really good game, 7 for 15 for the field, 2 for 7 for 3, but 18 points. He was aggressive shooting the ball. He definitely tried to keep the Wizards in the game. Looking at a few more people, I like what I saw from Anthony Gill and Ryan Rollins. They both played 10 minutes each, but 8 points for Gill and 7 points for Rollins. Shamet coming back from injury, so I'm not going to say too much. 0 for 2, did not score, but he's definitely trying to get his legs back. Coming back from injury, definitely trying to get back in the game's shape. And Mike Muscala, very, very underwhelming. 2 points, but 6 rebounds, 1 for 5 from the field. So what to expect from him. He can spread the floor, but, as far as, manning the paint, he has issues doing that, especially against bigger centers. And, he can definitely shoot. He's 6 rebounds he got in there, and he got boards. So overall, very underwhelming game. I felt like, the first half we definitely stayed with them, but the second half, man, adjustments at halftime continues to be an issue. And, it's like I said, different game, same script. The lack of adjustments at halftime really hurt us. And by the time we tried to make a comeback in the fourth quarter, it was way too late. So again, Jordan Poole coming back home to the Bay Area. He did get a lot of cheers. I'm sure there was a few boos out there, but a lot of cheers. Got a tribute video, a lot of love from the Bay Area. So he's much loved in the Bay Area. But, he tried to play hard against Golden State, but, he's just missing shots and inefficiency. And like I said, he's a young guy, man. I'm trying not to be too critical on Jordan Poole because he's a young guy. And I say this again, he's a young guy who has a lot of upside. Obviously, defensively, he's not going to be a defensive stopgap ever. But offensively, he can be a good scorer in this league. He hasn't hit his prime yet, but the biggest thing is efficiency, man. He has to shoot high percentage shots. He cannot continue to shoot the ball off a transition, man. You've got to utilize the shot clock. There's a shot clock for a reason. And the same goes for Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma, yes, he is a scorer. Normally, you can depend on him to consistently put up 20-plus points a night. His ability to use his frame to drive the lane, but efficiency continues to be an issue for both of these guys. And so going forward, man, I want to see them being more high-efficient players, man. It's one thing to be a scorer. I get it, man. Most scorers, their attempts are high, but you have to shoot high percentage shots. You've got to utilize the shot clock, and you got to utilize the guys around you, man. Definitely try to get Denny Avdia more involved. Daniel Gafford, he's a lob guy. He is what he is. He's very limited in my opinion, but he's trying to evolve offensively. You see that, but with him gaining weight, he's definitely going to be mostly a lob threat and a defensive presence in the paint. And Tyus Jones, can they get him? As point guard, I'm not going to say can they get him more involved, but I feel like he's doing really, really good. He's been playing well. So I like what I see from Tyus Jones, but efficiency has to get better, y'all. So we're going to really look at, can the Wizards get a first-round pick for Kyle Kuzma? And what are the best fits, in my opinion, to move Kyle Kuzma if they indeed want to move him at the deadline? But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. So what is PrizePicks? Well, PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than 2 to 6 players, stat projection, and watch the winnings roll in. I'm trying to tell you. With the basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League. A league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce at 10.5 combo of 3 points made plus receptions. I'll definitely roll with that. Want to play alongside some of PrizePicks famous players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can do that. You can now find community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the PrizePicks community each week. PrizePicks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. That's big, man. That's big for me. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. So that is big in my opinion. So all you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. And again, all you got to do is go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use promo code LockedOnNBA for the first deposit match up to $100. And Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe to the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel. So let's get into it, y'all. Question: can the Wizards get a first round pick for Kyle Kuzma? There was a article from Scott Polasek from Bleacher Report, and it says Wizards Kyle Kuzma is valued by NBA execs, could return a first rounder. So this comment is from Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports, and he wrote, the 4-year $90 million deal that Kyle Kuzma signed in free agency is considered quite valuable among rival personnel and could bring back some legitimate first-round draft capital for the rebuilding Wizards. So looking at that, there's one thing to cover first before we get into destinations and could this happen? Well, one, I think that most people knew that going into the season, the MO was this was a really team-friendly deal because eventually he was going to get moved. You know what I mean? So, there's some fans out there that think he's going to be here long-term. And I admit that I am a big fan of Kyle Kuzma. And, I love his personality. I love how he rolls, man. As a player, I love how he plays. Obviously, I know you guys feel like you've heard this 1,000 times from me, efficiency. But, a lot of attempts, I get it, but Kyle Kuzma has really become a complete player here in DC as opposed to being a role guy in LA. So, you can't be surprised by this. The MO was eventually he was going to get moved. There was reports that the organization and Kyle Kuzma were very transparent with each other, saying that he should expect to be traded with at some point in his contract. It was never meant for him to be here long term. Like it or love it. I'm a big fan of him, but we knew it from the get that he was a tradable contract. And now it's said that Jordan Poole, similar situation. He kind of viewed himself as being the guy where the organization said, hold on, man. We kind of view him as an asset. And so I get that. So can we get a first round pick for him? Absolutely. There's a team that's going to need his scoring prowess going into the playoffs. Some fits, and definitely comment below. Let me know what you guys think, man. What are the best fits? To me, number one, Sacramento Kings. I think that Sacramento Kings, the year that we traded Russell Westbrook to the Lakers, he was this close to going to Sacramento. And then we swooped in and made a deal sending Russell Westbrook to the Lakers for Kyle Kuzma and an assortment of other players. KCP, list goes on. Last year in off season, there was rumored that the Kings were looking at Kyle Kuzma. I would definitely consider that move. You look, some guys look at Davion Mitchell, future point guard. He's a guy he definitely can play defense, which is something that we miss at the point guard position. Davion Mitchell would be somebody to look at. Maybe an expiring deal, Harrison Barnes, expiring deal, and maybe a first round pick, man. That's something to consider. Number two, Dallas Mavericks. I think he could fit with the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I don't have their roster on me right now, but off the top of the head, you have to really look at the roster to see who we could consider getting back, maybe aspiring deals, picks maybe in play. But you got to think that with the Kings and the Mavs, man, the picks aren't going to be sexy picks per se because they are in the pursuit of a playoff spot. So, but look, at this point, we'll take any draft asset we can get, right? Because we are in a rebuild. Number three, the Lakers. There's some news out there that the Lakers may be interested in bringing him back to LA. Could he fit? But again, looking at the roster, I think that there's not a lot of young assets with the roster. So you're probably looking at I don't, really looking at their picks, man. They're hurting on picks. So you're probably looking at aspiring deals. So I don't see the Lakers deal as plausible, man, because, right now we're looking at draft capital, and the Lakers, man, they burned most of the draft capital trying to get talent to surround AD and LeBron James. But number four, the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers could definitely use him. Now, draft capital could definitely happen. And, again, definitely comment below. Look at the roster. Tell me what you got. What players would you like to see the Wizards get in return? Or are you looking at strictly draft capital? But I think those are four destinations, and it could be more that merge. But to me, the Knicks have been named out there, but it's interesting to see what the Knicks do. There's been a lot of news with, as far as what is the future for RJ Barrett in New York. Donovan Mitchell's not happy in Cleveland. Could they make a play for Donovan Mitchell? So just like the deals for Damian Lillard and James Harden, I was a believer that the Wizards should have been trying to be that third team, because right now you're looking at a roster where we're trying to find playing time for a lot of these veteran guys on aspiring deals like Tyus Jones, Gallinari, DeLon Wright, and try to flip them as opposed to trying to find minutes for these young guys. And they're starting to find minutes for Bilal. Like I said, Bilal led all minutes for the Wizards. So, trying to find that balance. I think being a third team in a deal maybe for Donovan Mitchell would would help us get a lot of these veteran guys off and then try to get playing time for some of these young guys. Johnny Davis, when he gets back from injury, what is his future? Bilal definitely is getting his minutes, and he should, man. I think we should definitely look at him being a two guard after the deadline. But can we get it first? Absolutely. You guys, let me know what you think, man. Definitely comment below. Let me know, do you think, can we get a first round pick for Kyle Kuzma? I think we can. And tell me, what is the best destination in your opinion? Sacramento, to me, looks like the most sexiest pick because Davion Mitchell, man. Now, one thing about Davion Mitchell real quick, his age. Does he really fit into the timeline? We'll see, man. Because realistically, we're looking at 3 to 4 years of a rebuild. So, and then we all know, and I get it, I don't want to bring it up, but the eventual move or the potential move to Virginia. So it kind of behooves him to kind of speed this rebuild up a little bit, right? Because you got to pay for that rent over in VA, man. So Definitely let me know what you guys think. So we're going to get into comments, man. Definitely appreciate you guys. We got 24 people in. I get it, man. It's a Saturday. Last night, wasn't feeling too hot, man. Definitely shout out to my guy, the real that all of man, hold me down for the Trailblazers game. Wasn't feeling too hot, man. The flu went through the house, man. So I was definitely feeling under the weather. So definitely appreciate my brother, man. Hold me down. So we're going to get into comments. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on in action than right now. Don't hesitate. Do it right now, because I'm trying to tell you, man, the app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over and unders, parlays, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League. So let's get into it. And let's get into comments. Again, appreciate you guys tonight, man. Showing up with me tonight. Let's start with Luke Feldman. What's good with you, man? He says that Patrick Baldwin Jr. and TJD, I'm thinking that is Jackson Davis. And I got to agree with you, man. It's not looking so great. Could he use TJD as the fourth or fifth here in DC? Dude was outworking Gafford and Muscat. I was thinking that the entire time watching the game, man. I mean, this kid can play some ball, man. And we drafted him. We flipped him. And yes, in my opinion, yeah, Trace Jackson Davis, man. Right now, he averages around 4 points a game, a little under 1 assist, and around 3.5 rebounds. But, at 6'9", 245, he uses his size well. He does. I mean, his stat line, man, he looked good last night. He was outworking him. He put in some work last night, y'all. So, yeah, I agree with you, man. That was a move where it's like, because he was a good prospect coming out of Indiana, man. 10 points, 15 rebounds, man. 5 for 7 from the field, 1 block. So, yeah, that was definitely a folly move in my opinion. So, yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Appreciate the comment. The sign, what's good, man? Can't believe Poole shot us out of the game, and West did nothing about it but fold his arms and chew gum. Yeah, I mean, not everything's on West, but I'll say this, man. He's got to control that. These shots that Jordan Poole is shooting. I get it. You're facing your former team. You don't want to be you want to be electric in a bottle, man. But you got to utilize the shot clock. I don't understand shooting an ill-advised three off a transition. I don't even know what to say, y'all. Like, there's moments where Jordan Poole looks really good. The first shot of the game, Jordan Poole looked like he was locked in. And when he hit that first mid-range, I was like, okay, it's about to be a good night for Jordan Poole, man, because he's going against his former team. But then he'll shoot these crazy shots, and it's like, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, come on, man. Help me help you. Like, stop, man. You got to utilize the shot clock. I feel like I've said it 100 times tonight, but you have to. There's a shot clock for a reason. You have to utilize it. You cannot spend 3 seconds off of it and then shoot an ill-advised shot. And Kyle Kuzma could be bad for it too, man. But Jordan Poole, man, he's got to shoot high percentage shots. You don't have to play hero ball every time down the floor, man. He's got potential. Somebody's got to rein him in. You can look at Wes Unseld Jr., yes. You got Kyle Kuzma being that leader, yes, but somebody's got to rein him in, man. He cannot continue. Yes, I believe, I agree with you. I believe he did shoot us out the game, man. And, he's got to do better with that. Lamar Odom, interesting name. Definitely appreciate you, man. If the Wizards can do a Kyle Kuzma trade, or excuse me, man, if Wizards do trade Kuzma, it definitely would be for multiple first-round picks and a solid player. He's a proven contributor to a championship team and a great locker room guy on a good contract. I agree with most of it. I do agree. He's a great locker room guy. He has been a leader. He has been a proven contributor to a championship team with the Lake Show, man. But multiple, I don't see it. I do see one first-round pick and maybe an inspiring deal or a young player, in return. But I don't see multiples. But I do think that they have an opportunity to get a young player back. And that's why I said, to me, the Kings, I like Davion Mitchell. I think that, a point guard who can defend, who is purely about distribution, will be good for this team. But, we'll see, because, Jordan Poole, is he the point guard of the future for this team? It remains to be seen. And I don't see right now, turnovers, ill-advised shots, maturity, a lot of factors, I don't think he's ready right now, so we'll see. But I agree, man. I definitely think we can get draft capital for Kyle Kuzma. And it's looking like, he might be dealt at the latest in the offseason, but he's definitely going to get looks at the deadline, man. So that's definitely going to speed up this rebuild and get us some more draft assets. Lamar Odom again, happy holidays, everybody. Definitely, hey, appreciate it. Definitely hope everybody has a blessed holidays, man. Let's get into some more comments. Bullets Nation, what's good? JP loses the game. He was awful. He tried to do what Steph did, and it resulted in 3 air balls from him. His shot selection was the worst it's been the entire year. I agree. His shot selection has to get better, man, because, I get it. You're playing your former team, man, but there's a reason why they're your former team. And like I said, I'm not trying to throw any shade on Jordan Poole. I was very excited him coming over. There was a time when I thought he was part of the future. Obviously, the organization doesn't feel the same. That's subject to change based on performance, but he's trying to do too much. That's pretty much it. He's trying to do too much. You don't have to play hero ball when it's not warranted. He's trying to do too much. So I definitely agree. His shot selection lost us the game, man. Is he the sole reason? No, but I mean, he's a big reason. The ill-advised shots are hurting us, man. Hurting us. Bullets Nation again. Don't know if you saw the rumors, but the Rockets and Magic are interested in Tyus. Yes, I did see that. The Rockets and the Knicks want Gafford. Talks of a first for Tyus, which I did not expect. Yes, this is exciting news because, man, we need all the draft capital we can get, right? Definitely flipping a lot of these expiring deals. Now, looking at the new, I did see the rumors of the Houston Rockets. Orlando Magic, I did not. That's interesting, but it kind of makes you shake your head. How many point guards do you need in Orlando, man? Unless you're trying to give us 2 for 1 deal. I mean, I just don't see how many point guards and guards you need in Orlando, man. But the fit, really, Houston is a good fit for Tyus, man. I always thought that Houston, maybe the Clippers were a good fit. The Knicks want Gaff. You know what? Like, I like Gaff. I really do. But here's the thing, man. This is a business. This is a performance-based business. Gafford can shot block, man. It was 6 blocks against the Portland Trailblazers, especially against, fighting against Ayton, which Ayton did win that matchup if you look statistically. But if you look at history, Daniel Gafford had a really good night. But he's very limited. In this modern NBA, man, you got to be able to spread the floor. He's tried, but, he's gaining weight. He's getting that muscle in there. I think that he can be a productive center in the NBA, but can he be a starter of the future? I don't see it yet, man. I think he can fit New York. I think that would be a really good trade. We can try to get a young player back because right now it's about evaluating young players, trying to get as much assets and young players back, and evaluate them and move from there, man. So I think there's a lot of potential in New York for Daniel Gafford, man. So like you said, talks of a first for Tyus. I didn't expect that, man. But if you can get a first round pick for Tyus, hopefully get a first round pick, or definitely get a first round pick for Kyle Kuzma, man, you're definitely filling up the cupboard for draft capital for the future for this organization, which is what we need and what we want, right? The unknown ism. I believe that's what it is. At this point, trade everybody and get rid of unsold. Get as much draft capital as possible. Amen. I agree with you, brother. I think that right now you get rid of everybody except for Bilal. And, Denny just got his bag. But, look, I believe, and I know there's going to be some people going to be mad at me. But, everybody is tradable, in my opinion, outside Bilal Coulibaly. Denny, he has evolved. He's definitely, worked on his offensive game. Now, is he a complete package right now? No. But he's definitely put the work in. But you got to honestly look at it, man. Hate him or love him. Everybody on this team outside Bilal is a tradable asset right now. And they should be, because we are, I believe the next year is year 1 of a rebuild, but this is a transitional year. But we are early on in the rebuild. We have to get draft assets. We have to get young players and evaluate them because, again, if you look at certain financial moves made by ownership, you don't make a major move for the Commonwealth of Virginia and you don't field a competitive team. You cannot go to VA, man, because that obviously we all know, and I'm not going to get into it, but that's obviously a high price area, man. Look, you got to have a contender because people aren't going to show up and pay crazy prices for tickets if they're stinking, man. It behooves them to make this a competitive team by 2028. So right now is the time to get draft assets and young players. So DNF for Life said if the Knicks want Gafford, they can have him. He's a great backup, bad starter. I agree on all points. You hit the nail on the head, brother. Great backup, bad starter. He's got things to work on. He is what he is, in my opinion, at this point. He's a lob threat, yes. He's a shot blocker, yes. But, it's good to see him gaining that muscle, right? But he's got ways to go if he wants to solidify himself as a starter in this league. I just don't see it yet, man. Like Gaff, but and I'm with you, man. That contract, first year of that extension kicking in, man. It's definitely a movable contract. So I definitely agree with you. Stuart O'Flaherty, what's good with you? It was a good game at 88-80. I answered the phone call, look up, and it's 99-80. I'm with you, man. I mean, before you know it, it's just the lack of adjustments at halftime kills us, man. I mean, Weston Sell Jr. tends to stick with his game plan and his lineups, and he doesn't make adjustments, and it's hurting him. It's hurting him, and it's hurting the team. You got to make adjustments, man. That's the name of the game. You can argue that halftime adjustments are probably the most important adjustments you can make because the other teams are making it and we're not making it, man. So I definitely agree with that. Again, he says they shouldn't trade Gafford, especially in the division. And I think that the Knicks are in the Atlantic division, so they're not in our division, but they are in our conference. And look, Gaff, his contract is not bad. Could he be a backup here in the future? Yeah, absolutely. I can see him staying here long term. But here's the thing, man. With that money, you have an opportunity to move him. You got to make the move. It's 50-50 for me, man. Is it really a move that has to be made? You can say no, right? But it's a move that if you get a good return, then you make that move because he's not a guy who's pivotal or is a pivotal piece of the foundation. And it's no shade on Gaff, man. Like I said, and I'm gonna make this last time I said I like Gaff, but here's the thing: this is a performance-based business, man. We are in a rebuild, man. So everybody's tradable. Everybody's tradable. So normally you want to move, your player in the trade to the Western Conference. But, Gafford's not a guy who's, in return to DC is going to light us up. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is 50-50, my dude. I definitely agree with you. Let's see. Drew said the Wizards' biggest problem is that they have too much small guards. All the top teams now have 3 or 4 players over 6'9". That's a new winning lineup in the NBA. Man, great comment. I definitely agree with you. If you look at point guards like SGA, man, a tall lineup is much needed in NBA. And that's why I advocated for, and depending on future moves, man, depending on who we get in the draft. But, right now, Denny is our small forward. If you put Bilal after the deadline at the 2, that's a tall lineup. That's the defensive lineup. Especially with Kuzma at the 4, gifted that he's not moved. But long term, man, there's a lot of decisions. We go on the draft and we draft Ron Holland. Then you have a tall, there's a lot of variables, but I agree with you, man. Our backcourt, they're small and they don't defend and they become a detriment. Yeah, they can score. Tyus does well. Yeah, especially distributing ball. I like to see his assist numbers a little higher, but they are a defensive detriment to us because they don't defend well, man. And they're small. When what can you really depend on when you put Tyus up against SGA, a taller, faster, stronger point guard? So I agree with you, man. Stuart O'Flaherty said trade Tyus, his value would never be higher. Totally agree, man. Let's see. We're gonna do a couple more, man, because we're at the 33-minute mark. Let's see. George Borton Schneider says trade Kuzma for Embiid. How does the front office not see this? I'm not seeing it either, bro. I don't see any. I mean, the 76ers probably will they will laugh at us, man. Like straight up Kuz for nah. I agree that Philly might be an under the radar move, especially considering if you look at Tobias Harris's contract. I will agree with that, but straight up, nah, man. I mean, the 76ers are probably going to hang up. Let's see. All right, let's see. Drew said you guys are not good businessmen. Kuz for a first round pick when Jazz is asking for 5. Oh, my Lord. I didn't know that. First round picks for Laurie marketing. That's why the Wizards are the laughing stock in the NBA. No ambition. I don't know any universe where you get 5 first round picks for Laurie marketing, man. I mean, Lord, if they get that for him, man, then we might mess around and get 10 for Kuzma, man. I mean, I don't see either one of them a possibility right now. So, but you can definitely get a first for Tyson. You can definitely get a first for Kuz, man. Let's see. Dat Black guy. Or the Dat Black _ guy S. What's up, man? You really think they're moving the VA? I don't know. Honestly, man, obviously there's a lot of approval from Richmond. There's a lot of approval that has to be done as far as Alexandria and the city council because look, people forget there was a football stadium was proposed and they didn't decline it. And really, if you look at a lot of comments from people that live in the area, they don't want it, man. It's really going to jack up the traffic. I think that this move was a move for Ted Leonsis to kind of get DC City Council to get their act together. I don't honestly, it's 50-50 right now. I could see them staying in DC, but is the money good? Yeah, man. I mean, the money's good in VA, and you know, so we'll see, man. I know that this is a hot topic right now from DMV, man. But I could see them staying in DC because I don't see financially how it makes sense. The Mystics, unfortunately, I'm just being real here. I'm being 100. The Mystics aren't a draw enough to be able to be the lone tenant at Capital One. What do you do with Monument Sports Arena? There's a lot of ifs, man. There's a lot of approval. So I think that, there's a chance that they could stay, but there's also a chance they could go. So let's see. Well, I'm going to do one more comment. And there's a lot of good comments here, man. Next week, we are going to do some mailbag episodes, man. So definitely give us your best questions. But we're going to put forward, let's see, put forward. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see, my man, DC Hoopla. What's good, brother? If your last name isn't Koulibaly, you should be on the market. Absolutely. Amen. That's it. I'm with you, bro. I mean, everybody's tradable. Everybody should be tradable. Bilal Koulibaly is the only person that is not a tradable asset right now. You try to move everybody, because the thing is, we're rebuilding. This is going to be a long rebuild. But then again, is it? Because with that potential move. So, you've got to evaluate young guys. You got to bring some young guys in here. You got to bring some picks in here. If you can definitely get a first round pick for Tyus Jones and Kyle Kuzma, man, that is a win-win. But we definitely have to try to get as many assets as we can back. So I agree with you. So we're gonna go call it there, man. A lot of good comments, man. If I didn't get to your comment, man, it ain't because it ain't good, man. It's just because we had this 36-minute mark, man. So definitely appreciate you guys rocking with me tonight, man. Again, shout out to my guy, the real that all ever hold it down for the Trailblazers game, man. Like I said, I wasn't feeling too hot, so I definitely appreciate him holding down the fort. But I appreciate you guys, man. Wherever you get your podcast, 5-star review is much appreciated. And on the YouTube side, man, comment below. Let us know what you guys think. What is the best destination for Kyle Kuzma? And what is the best package we can get for him? But definitely, if you're not a subscriber to Locked On Wizards, definitely consider it, man. Me and my guy, the real it all over, man. We have fun on here. You guys know how we do, man. We come in and we chop it up. So we have a lot of good content coming your way, covering the rest of this year and getting into the off season. Is going to be a lot of good content. So definitely rock with us, man. So holidays, man. Look, definitely want to bless holiday, whether it's Christmas, whether it's Hanukkah, whether it's Kwanzaa. I know it's too late for Eid, but definitely Eid Mubarak, man. But definitely appreciate you guys rocking with us this year, man. So definitely, whatever your religious belief is, man, whatever you celebrate, definitely, man, it's time for family. Definitely time to reflect. Look, man, the world is going crazy right now. We have a lot of things that divide us, man. Definitely consider, really just going into this new year with some love, respect, and was try to make this a better world, man. So straight up, we got a lot of love for you guys, man. Definitely appreciate you guys rocking with us, man. So definitely, I wish everybody a blessed holiday, man. We will see you guys after the holidays, man, on Tuesday. So appreciate you guys, man. So hail to the Wizards and peace, everybody. Take care, man.